8 seconds. 12 seconds.
This was the first scramble this saw was a 1.09. I saw on green and there's a pre-made TCLL, but it's not that good of a case. And then on white, I saw you can do one move to get a different TCLL case. The next things I noticed were on orange, you could do 4 moves to the CLL. And on blue, there's a few things you could do. You could make a face like this to get EG2 case, or you could do 4 moves like that to get a PBL case. But eventually what I just decided to do was I did green and I did TCLL, but I held it here and did kind of an alternative alg by doing U prime, R prime F, R, U, R, U prime, R prime F, R prime F, R, U2.
Seconds. 12 seconds.
This was the second scramble. This saw was a 0.96. I saw on yellow you could do 1 move to get to this LS case. I also saw on orange you could either insert with R prime F2R to get this EG1 case, or you could do U R prime FR to get this EG1 case, which is actually a pretty good solution. But I saw instead of doing that you could also do a CLL layer and that you get Nicholas, which is basically a similar solution to the EG1 solution, but I think it usually flows better for that case. And then the other thing I saw was on green, I saw you could make a CLL layer, but I wasn't really getting a good case. So eventually what I just decided to do was on orange, I just held it here and did U, R, U, R2, F prime, R2, U prime, R prime, F, R prime, F prime, R, U.
8 seconds.
This was the third scramble. This saw was a 0.84. I saw on blue there was a 4 move face, but it gives a not very good EG2 case. So then I also saw on red, there are a few things you could do. You could make a face like this and get this case, or you could make it like that and get a pretty good case, but it wasn't too great of a setup. So the solution I ended up going with was on white. I saw that you could do 2 moves to get to this LS case, and it actually goes straight into the algorithm. So when I did this all, I just held it here and did F, R2, U prime, R prime, F, R prime, F prime, R, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime.
Seconds. 12 seconds.
This was the fourth scramble. This saw was a 0.96. I looked at white, but I wasn't really finding any great solution. It probably wouldn't have been too bad to do 5 moves to PBL, but I didn't end up seeing that. So what I ended up going with was on blue. I saw you could do 5 moves to get to this 5 move CLL case, but I actually canceled into a different algorithm because it flowed better in this case. So when I had it here, I just did R, F, R prime, F prime, R, U, R prime, F prime, R, U, R prime, F, R, U.
8 seconds. 12 seconds.
This was the fourth scramble. This saw was a 0.90. I noticed 2 main ways of making an EG2 face on white. You could either do R, U prime, R2, U prime, R, and then cancel into this anti-CLL, which would have been pretty good. Or you could do U prime, U prime, R, but that doesn't give a very good case. So the solution I ended up going with was on red. You could do 3 moves to get to this LS case, and it's a really short one. So the solution ended up just being from here. I did R prime, F prime, R, U, R2, U prime, R2, U, R2, U2.